Ian, there was an announcement by Nintendo for an interesting program/app that could it be a game changer?
Oh, jeez, Pat. I don't know. So, Game Builder Garage is coming out from Nintendo. This was announced last week, and it is a suite of game creation software for anyone who has a Nintendo Switch to use. So, this is built upon the Labo Garage. So, when you use Labo, you build something in Labo, you can use it as intended, or you can go into the garage and start to tinker with it.
It has its own garage in Labo?
Yes. And you can, make things, basically mess around with stuff. So you can have it when it recognizes, this input or this thing happens, it will do this.
It'll be a function?
Yeah. So this kind of drags that out and makes it more focused on game design. So it's kind of like a series of if-then statements in a flow chart. So basically, you put down a block that says, with like a joystick on top, and that's what it looks like, and the movement, left, right. So you're like, okay, joystick, left, right. Here's this block.
You're talking, this is like the dev screen, basically.
Yes. And there's a block. And then you can drag it to a block that represents a character that's on the screen.
You drag like a relationship line, basically.
Literally, yeah. Like you like pull a line from the block.
This means this. Yeah.
To the object that represents the player character, and then once you do that, you pick on the player character block, move character left, right. So then you start building things up there. You can do a button object. If button is pressed, make this guy jump. And it's an easy, logical way to look at game design and be able to kind of, lab something up pretty quickly.
I get it.
It wasn't meant to be a pun, but it ended up.
So they're taking basically the logic from the Labo programming or development, and basically, okay, we're going to take this and make it the core of a new product. It's going to be basically you're making a game now, not like interactive objects. So
yes.
So I watched this trailer. And I'm like, the first thing I think to myself is like, it's first of all, it's Nintendo cute, like the little joystick icon has a little happy face.
Yeah.
And like one of them's like grumpy little guy, the button's like kind of like grumpy, looks almost like a Goomba. And the first thing I think is like, if Nintendo was going to do a game design app, this is the only way they can do it. It's got to be Nintendo-fied. It's got to be cute and approachable and non-threatening. Then I thought, wow, I can't believe Nintendo has been doing games for so long. It's the first time we're seeing something like this. It's sort of like, it didn't hit me that Nintendo never did something like this before, or they'd have a market for this. Then you think about, well, they're almost planting the seeds with Mario Maker 1 and 2.
Well, I was gonna say they've been dipping their toes in. They've got the Mario Maker. They have Labo, and this seems like the next step. You can only do so much with something like Mario. They want to give people the tools to do something a little bit more. This reminds me of on the Sony side of things. Sony had the Little Big Planet series made by Media Molecule. Great series. There was 3 entries in Little Big Planet plus a racing game. And basically it was a platforming game, and you played through the story mode and you unlocked costumes and pieces that you could use to build levels. And then you went and you could go into level creation and you could make your 3D graphics, but 2D platforming style levels. It was essentially their Mario Maker.
Yeah.
Well, they did it first, but it was kind of like the analogy to Mario Maker. Then
but there was different game types, right?
Well, so in the first, that's what I'm getting at. In the first 3, in the first one, it was just platforming, but people found ways to do other things.
Okay.
And then as it progressed in part 2 and part 3, they started adding more things that you could do to make different types of games. So by the time part 3 came out, you could do like puzzling. You could do a lot of weird shit with part 3. But they finally decided that, maybe we should just open the tools up a little bit more. Instead of having people break and find ways to do these weird things with 2D games, we're going to make something called Dreams, which is on the PlayStation 4. And sadly under-recognized. It's a great game creation studio, simple to use, similar in ways to Game Builder Garage. So that brings me back here. Game Builder Garage is kind of like that. It's Nintendo's dreams. You got everything you could do out of Mario Maker. Now we want to break this open a little bit and let you do more.
we want to you basically start from scratch.
Yes.
No, we're not just giving you pacing in Mario pieces. We're now all right. Well, you're going to decide what type of game you're doing.
And just from my time going around the little Big Planet games and Dreams, it's a lot of fun to just spend a night looking around and seeing what people make. These little 2 to 3 minute experiences. And very interesting things too. I mean, I jumped from like a skydiving game in Dreams to a grocery shopping game in Dreams. Like they do all sorts of strange things. And I can't wait to do that with Game Builder Garage. We haven't mentioned it yet, but this was something that really stuck out to me. Game Builder Garage is $30.
I was going to get to that. When I saw that, I was like, wow, I can't remember the first time or last time Nintendo had a budget first party title out of the gate like that, where it's like, oh, $30. It's like, we're not doing 60. People would buy it for 60. No, $30. Go for it.
They would. And
no. What it was, that 1-2 Switch wasn't $30 and 40. That was $60. How not enraged it was. I was like, that's ridiculous.
No, and that's a perfect example. 1-2 Switch should have been a $30 game.
And they would have sold a ton of them. Mm-hmm. They would have sold a ton of them. Yeah.
Game Builder Garage is the opposite. Game Builder Garage would sell at 60. The fact that it's 30 tells me that Nintendo does want this to
be a thing,
to take off.
Yeah.
That's like I said, talking about the other games. The sad thing is Dreams didn't really take off. There is a really nice community too, but I don't know if it's just the timing. They put it out at kind of in the last year of the PlayStation 4 before the PlayStation 5 came out. It had a lot of potential, but if there's not people using it and sharing games, then it fizzles out. Game Builder Garage for the Switch, which has a huge install base and a $30 price tag, I think we'll see a lot more. I think we'll see a lot more people dipping in and getting creative and trying to do stuff with this.
So Nintendo was basically fostering this throughout the years, maybe not with this being the end goal, maybe they realized, oh, wow, we can do this ourselves. They probably looked at Roblox and was like, well, they got a community of people making stuff.
That's a good point.
And they're like, wow, they monetized that. I'm not saying Nintendo's going to do the same thing and have different, tools for programmers that they'll charge money for sound things, but maybe they will. Maybe they'll be, okay, you want to buy the Mario sound pack? It's $1. I'm not saying they're going to do this stuff, but this opens them up to monetize it if they want to.
There's all sorts of avenues here for opening it up. Because I don't know how the graphic creation will be done. Dreams had a really interesting way of being able to make character models and stuff. We don't know what's going to come with this.
Because you see in this sample demo, you see a 3D game, Tuna Cube Factory. You see little almost like a Game & Watch, little simple game. You see a 2D game. You see a 3D horizontal shooter. You see a first person shooter with a target, like a light gun sort of game. It looks like you can do anything with it. This isn't just simple stuff. It can be simple. It's like you can do some more complicated stuff as well. They show the little text editor. A little sprite editor there. This is extremely intriguing because this could end up being to Mario Maker, but better because you'll come up with real actual games that'll be incredible potentially.
Well, I love Mario Maker, but the problem with Mario Maker is it all just boils down to everyone's making extremely hard levels or 10-second speedrun levels.
Which I personally don't care about either of those. I'll care about a cool, cute little game that is inventive and fun and be like, wow, this game potentially, I'm not saying Nintendo's going to do this, maybe they'll have their own publishing portal for the top games. They'll curate the top one. You know what I mean? They can do it. This is, I'm not saying this is a game facetiously, but this will get a lot of kids and adults into programming or wanting to learn about it. The same way Roblox did.
Just the logic behind it. Yeah.
Learning the logic, because you don't learn a lot of this stuff. That's the thing about programming, and I used to do computer science before I dropped out of it, is that there's not a lot of ways to learn about logical thinking processes, outside of programming to learn about it. It's not like there's a lot of courses in grade school or high school where this is how you think logically about if-thens and if A then B. That's not really a thing that gets taught, which is very important in general. So yeah, I'm super down to see what happens with this over the next year.
And I keep forgetting that this comes out on June 11th. This is less than a month away. It's a month away.
I love Nintendo. This is how you do it. You take the Fire Pro route. Hey, it's coming out next month. Here's a trailer.
Yeah, this is literally, we've said it a bunch, but this is my favorite thing about current modern day Nintendo is they announce stuff and then it releases a month.
There's no advantage to announcing this a year out.
No.
Everyone's pumped, ready to spend the money now next month on this.
Yeah, this came out and everyone was like, "Oh, it comes out in a month," and everyone pre-ordered it. So Nintendo, it was. I mean, they made money.
A little spaceship shooter. You see this stuff? The little examples here. The little guy. Well, yeah, I'm not filleting Nintendo here, but I mean, this is fun. This is really cool. Even if a lot of it's just like cute little like Playdate style little simple games, you know, like.
Well, that's what I want out of it. That's all I ever
little
want.
Inventive, cute things.
I want short little experiences. That's what I like about Dreams. I like short little experiences that I can play once or twice, maybe bookmark to go back and try to get a high score. But I don't actually want.
You don't want a big
3 hours, 10-hour games. I don't want RPGs in these. I want to see people. I want to. These are great for prototyping stuff. I want to see all the stupid ideas that maybe will never get fleshed out into a full game, but have a good idea playable right there.
I'll make the prediction right now. You're going to find a few games that end up like Untitled Goose Game.
Sure.
You're going to find games of that caliber and inventiveness and maybe that success potentially.
Lots of creative people out there, but they don't always know how to get that idea out of their head
or don't have the push to do it.
Paper.
Yeah. How do I make the game? Yeah, there's Unity, but this is like going to be drag and drop stuff, you know, with your finger, drag and drop stuff. You know, you can just do like that's what you want to do. Like that's fantastic. Now I'm looking forward to it. You have a game idea in mind you want to do, like you used to do with RPG Maker? You want to?
Oh, I'm sure I'll think of something. But I'm more into just playing. I really want. I love these things just to pick them up and play people's. Like I haven't made anything in Dreams, but I love to sit there at night. You know, once a month, twice a month. I'll turn it on. I'll smoke a blunt, and I'll just be like, "What are people doing?"
Yeah, I like. We had last year for the pandemic, we actually had Animal Crossing blow up partially because of the pandemic and people were stuck. I'm not saying this is going to blow up like that did. It's almost impossible, but it won't be nothing. I think this is going to be a hit. Yeah, it's going to be a hit, and people are going to be talking about it. Or people will be like sharing their own creations with each other when we're back in. Oh, look at this! It's a thing where I'm like, wow, Nintendo, why didn't you think of this before? Maybe now the Switch is the proper time to do it. Yeah. All right. I want to see Ian's game. I want to see him make his little bunny characters. And that's right, your friend